Hi, I'm Susan Powers from Sandler Training, and I'm here today to talk to you about a few tips to make your tabletop expo a success. So often people go to these and they come back and they go, oh, that was a waste of my time. You know, none of these leads were worthwhile, or I didn't get any leads. And if they've just made a few little changes, it would have made a world of difference to their success. Some people go to these trade shows just to brand themselves, so people know they're out there. Others are actually going looking for leads. Only you know what the reason you're going to this tabletop is and what your goal is for this tabletop expo. But a couple of things that I can tell you that, that I suggest you think about. Okay, I would suggest you have 2 to 3 people to a booth. This way you can spell each other. If somebody has to go use the restroom or something, they can leave and you still have 2 people there. Never leave the booth unattended. I have been to expos and trade show events where you walk up and it's something you're interested in and there's nobody there to talk to. All you pick up is flyers, and that just doesn't tell your whole story. And if there's a competitor there, what am I looking at? I'm thinking, they're not even here to man their booth. Are they going to answer my calls? We also see people break down before the end of the event. I can't tell you the number of people that I have talked to that got their best lead at the last few minutes, and they said, thank goodness I hung around and waited. So I would just stay there to the bitter end. I'd like to suggest you wear very comfortable shoes, but not the running shoes that you've been wearing all summer that are well worn in and feel really comfortable. I want you to wear something that you can stand in for 3 hours, something that you're not going to have to sit down because your back is hurting, your knees are hurting, your feet are killing you. Ladies no longer have to wear heels. There are some really attractive flat shoes that you can stand in for hours. So I would suggest wearing really comfortable shoes. No eating or drinking at the booth, only water. I've seen so many booths just ruined with a spilled cup of coffee, or somebody that's grabbed a hot dog and now they have mustard down their shirt. How does that look to a prospect? Are you going to be sloppy in the way you handle my account too? So think about these things. If you're going to have water, put it aside. Don't put it down where it's going to spill and get on something. Raffle items. At these shows, there are always adult trick-or-treaters. Those are the people that come in, they get the bag, and they're walking around and they're grabbing every pen, every squeeze toy, every piece of candy, and they're signing up for every raffle like you think of. The iPad, the gift cards, and what do you end up with? You end up with a fishbowl full of empty, useless leads. Not something you can use. And you leave and you go, that was the biggest waste of time. What I'm suggesting is that you raffle off something that's germane to the product or service you're selling. Something that will give somebody a taste of who are you and what is your product or service like. Something that they might really like that would maybe move into something bigger. Some little thing that you can offer. No talking on your cell phone, and no sitting behind the desk. That when you sit behind the table, what kind of energy does this show? I'm just here to talk to you, and I'm just going to tell you, and I'm going to hand out my flyers. I often see people working from their booth. They didn't necessarily want to be there. They have a ton of work to do, and so they think this is a good time to get it done. Not a wise idea. My suggestion is that you pull your table more to the back and you don't have any chairs behind it because you are so tempted to sit in those chairs. If you're sitting, it doesn't show a whole lot of energy or interest in meeting other people. Oh, okay, let me get up here. It's not a good look. I've had people tell me, oh, I went to this trade show or expo, and nobody even came to the booth. Well, if you're sitting back here and you're sitting and you're doing this, or you're on your phone, they're not going to approach you. Now, you might have some people that say, excuse me, but those people are rare. They're more likely to be not okay and a little intimidated by interrupting you. So my suggestion is you stand in front of the table. You have one person farther into the booth, closer to the back of the booth with whatever products or flyers you have out, and you have somebody out front. This way, people are a little intimidated sometimes going into a booth, but if there's somebody standing outside at the edge, they're more likely to engage them in conversation, and this person can gently say, well, why don't you talk to whoever is working back there and the two of you work together on this. Your main job at one of these is to disqualify people, figuring out who is a real prospect and who is, just an adult trick-or-treater, or the spouse or significant other with somebody else that's been there that was coming and they were dragged along. However, they could also know the right people. You never know, but find out why they're there. Find out who they're with. Are they a decision maker? Can they get you to a decision maker? I would make sure that you are positioned in there. Follow-up is a big one. This is probably the most important part. You do come out and you have a fishbowl full of leads. And by the way, I don't know if you're aware, but the chamber will send you out upon request a list of all of the attendees. Now, it doesn't have email addresses or phone numbers. However, those are usually pretty easy to attain through LinkedIn, message them through LinkedIn, but follow-up is very, very important. And let me give you some of the statistics. 48% of salespeople never follow up on a prospect. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. 12% of salespeople only make 3 contacts and stop. 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. Now, 2% of sales are made on the first contact. It's highly unlikely that you are going to sell something at the show. It does happen, however. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% are made on the third contact. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact. And 80% of all sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So consider that tabletop expo. Meeting somebody there is your first contact. You have many to go. You might find a personality style that's a quick decision maker that's going to do something and you're going to make a quick sale. But the majority of people, you're going to have to get to know each other. You might have to date a little bit before you get that big sale or before they give you a chance. And that raffle prize that has something to do with your product or service, when they win it, it gives you that excuse to give them a call. Find out what they need. So I hope these tips are helpful. If you'd like to further discuss them, you can contact me if you need me to talk to your group. I'd be more than happy to do that. My name is Susan Powers and I'm with Sandler, and you can get my information from the chamber. Thank you very much and have a great show.